Hello. So let's do a pick a reflection to honor you. And this reading is going to be about giving you some much deserved recognition. Okay? So you may want to take a deep breath. Use your own intuition to decide if one or more of these picks has messages for you to reflect on. We're going to take a look at your well-deserved recognitions. This is going to be pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, and pick 4. So let's get started. With pick number 1. And I've already pre-shuffled the cards. Let's take a look. Pick number 1. You are in a position that's very public. You are being seen. It could be just by those that you work with. You may be in a position of authority or a position of leadership. It could be that you're the head of a family, that you have a team that you manage at work, or that you're well known socially. And I think there's also a very introspective part of you that maybe people don't even realize about you. I think that what you've been working on lately is this quiet inner kind of stuff. It's like, yes, you're well known, and yes, you may even be well accomplished according to others in society, but there's a level of inner work that you've been doing, and you may not even call it work, but inner attentiveness. So it's like you're loving yourself. You're really honoring yourself. And for this to be the recognition, it must be that this was something that you weren't doing as much of or as well of a job as you are now. We have communicate using I statements as something that you are doing. So this to me says that you are open to other people's perspectives, that even though you're a leader, you're doing it by example, right? So you're remaining open-minded and you're able to express yourself. This is a wonderful thing because it means that you're not using manipulative tactics in your relating dynamics and things like that. I think that even when it doesn't feel like you have everything you want, you are grateful for what you do have. You recognize that you can be happy with very little, and you are grateful. And I think that even though you may not have everything you want, you have some things you want, right? We have your wishes granted. Perhaps you're even in the vibration of being thankful for something before it arrives. This express your individuality came in reverse, so you may not quite be, ready to show all of what you're doing for yourself on the inside to the outside yet, right? Or if there were discrepancies between what you are showing on the outside and who you are on the inside, you're clearing those up, I think, slowly. As you love yourself, as you do the deep dives into your psyche, into your subconscious, to find any place that feels in fear or limited, I think that is is reflected outward without you even trying. I don't think that you're being flashy about it. I think that you're being an example by just, minding your own business kind of thing. And you can't help but shine. So if there are more things that you've been hoping and wanting, they are coming. And this level of gratitude that you're holding yourself in, it's sort of magnetizing things to you. Your willingness to be with whatever you feel by using these I statements, very important. You're not willing to lie to yourself about anything. You're not willing to lie to others, to manipulate or coerce. It's a sort of quiet strength that is really focused inward at this point, but is reflected outward nonetheless. Okay, pick one. So remember, this is just information to reflect on. And I'm going to end your reading there. Thank you for spending your time with me. We'll see you in a future reading. Hi, pick two. Okay, let's see what we have here for you. Six of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Cups in reverse, Nine of Cups. Okay, so despite being in a situation where there's been a delay, I think that you're handling things very well, right? So let's see, you're looking at whether or not you agree to being treated the way that you're being treated. So maybe you've prioritized someone or something that is not either giving you the return or the reciprocation that would be appropriate for you to keep investing in it. Just as I said that, a beetle, when it lands, I'll tell you what kind, if it's like a ladybug or what, but a beetle literally just flew right into my face. So beetles represent transformation, kind of rebirth energy. Is that a ladybug? Come on, baby, land so I can see ya. Hi. Put my hand out. She wants to land on my body, not my hand. Yeah, I see her redness, so I think that is a ladybug, and that is like a wish granted. So I think that your patience is really going to pay off. Wow. Very interesting. So I haven't seen a ladybug in my house in a long time. I don't even know where she would have come from, but so you're staying grounded and practical amidst this kind of uncovering and transformational time that you're going through. So things are shifting and you're kind of having to keep your cool. And perhaps what's shifting is that you're doing a bigger level of self-care, or you're being given reason to need to heal yourself. So maybe you are running into delays because you can't do the things you want because your health is ailing, or there's some reason where you have needed to put your healing skills towards yourself. And you are getting exercise, and when you are in this situation where you are not agreeing to being treated a certain way, you're asking for what you do want instead. So it's kind of like you're sticking up for yourself. You're not just kind of going with the flow anymore of things that don't work well for you, that things that don't sit well with you. That you're not staying in places that you don't belong. Okay? And that means that you're healing the parts of you that were a match to being in places where you don't belong. And sort of maybe even like tracing the root cause, tracing it back to the root cause of why you would have let yourself be in certain situations that were not of your highest good. I think that you noticed that your investment wasn't getting a return, or you weren't getting the results that you wanted. You stopped investing, you withdrew, and then in order to heal yourself, you looked at what made it so that you would be in that situation in the first place. And so that involves tracing that energy, that pattern that you found yourself in, back to your roots. So, and this is also the process of healing in general, so you can apply those same things that you're doing to other things, and maybe you already have been, or maybe you will continue to do so. So this is a recognition of you as a self-healing being, looking out for yourself and making some really great choices. It's a wonderful level of self-care and self-expression. You know, sticking up for yourself, standing up for yourself, speaking up for that part of you that didn't always have a voice. You have a vision. You know what's good. You know what you want. So where you weren't getting it, you're able to speak up. Very beautiful. Okay. Remember, pick 2, this is just information to reflect on. I'm going to end your reading there, and thank you for spending your time with me. Hi, pick 3. Let's look at your well-deserved recognition. First, we have some you're like a stable person that has some level of nostalgia and tradition in your life, and that some of you may be like even ascended or ascending, you know, to the degree that you don't feel the need to like kind of tell everybody what you're thinking and feeling. And others of you may feel like there is something you need to express but cannot. You're working on something. I don't think it's your priority to be telling other people anything, because you're really working on something that's important to you. And you're working towards your destiny, and you're at a turning point. So the efforts that you're putting in now are really important, and I think you kind of sense that. It's like you realized, okay, this actually needs to be worked on right now. I need to pay attention to this. And once you realized what it was, you haven't stopped doing what needs to be done for that. Maybe you're getting advice from angels, or recognizing yourself as an angel or others as angels in your life. You're taking responsibility for yourself, your feelings, your duties, what needs to be done. You are able to communicate if you need to. Like, it's not, your lack of communication has nothing to do with an inability to. It's more to do with a very high understanding of something. But you do also know that you don't have all the answers, and you are also knowing the value in following your intuition, because there are just things that the logical mind doesn't know. So one thing that you've done is you've been able to access your intuition. So if that was something that you couldn't always rely on, you're definitely being recognized for having healed any issue with listening to your intuition. And for those of you who have a daughter, it would extend to the relationship with your daughter as well. If there's no daughter present, then it would be more like your own inner feminine. Any relationship with your own inner feminine has been healed. Yeah, I think that this is something that it took some practice, and you just stayed with it diligently. And now you are able to be confident in what you're doing and how you're utilizing your gifts and skills. And this is allowing you to take charge in your life. You understand the value in it. So I think this reading for you is a recognition of just how on point you are, how able you are to take responsibility, to stay focused, to be sovereign, to not only use your mind for the highest good of yourself and all, but your intuition, allowing your intuition to be, to inform you on what actions to take, while also recognizing that you do have a past, and that there are valuable things that you've learned from the past that you've had. Yeah. You may have even had to disassemble some of the structures that you were operating under in order to make these strides. Like if your emotions had been stagnant and you hadn't been listening to your intuition, then you, maybe because you didn't believe in dealing in the emotional realm, then you overcame that belief in order to access the full range of your abilities. So well done, and you're also going to be experiencing even more change as you go. So you have the skills to traverse whatever comes up, and it doesn't mean that whatever comes up is going to be difficult or painful, as some of what you have already traversed may have been. Okay, well done. Pick 3. Remember, this is just information to reflect on. Only take what's helpful for you. And I'm going to end your reading there. Thank you for your time. Hi, pick 4. Okay, let's see what your well-deserved reassurance or recognition is. Well, look at you. You've been shiny, you've been inspired, you have been successful, you've been financially stable. So that's just generally you. And then, in that state, you've been able to see where there were parts of you that were kind of in fear or holding you back, or in anxiety or things like that. Parts that couldn't believe in what you had achieved. So I think that it's recognizing that even though there was this great level of success and probably comfort with where you were in life, you also didn't stop there when you were shown more of the kind of subconscious stuff that you could deal with. And I think that you also may have recognized this first in somebody outside of yourself, where there was some sort of disappointment or abandonment or escapism. Maybe there was someone in your sphere that was using alcohol or drugs, or something that was keeping things less than ideal. And I think that you recognized that it wasn't self-loving to continue having those experiences with that person. maybe you even got a vision, or you knew that, this wasn't going to live up to your dreams. What you wanted, that didn't go along with what it is that you wanted. So you were paying attention to your own standards, your own desires, your own wishes. And I think you took action swiftly to make sure that that didn't continue for you. And maybe you also recognized that there was perhaps like a hidden motivation in yourself that was attracting that situation to you. And it could have been the standard, what society says is that women should be attractive and alluring to, their male counterparts, or, make it fit for who and how you are and whatever your energy is. But basically you get what I'm saying, which is like that idea that a woman has to kind of be a seductress, right? So the act of seducing is actually kind of a low density thing, right? When it comes to relating dynamics. Now, it's one thing to do that within a relationship, but it's another to use those means to attain a relationship or to sustain a relationship that's not stable or up to par, you know what I mean? So I think you had to accept certain things, which was that, while there was some things that you liked about the situation you were in, there were some things that would never live up to what you wanted. And I think you have also maintained your level of dedication to your own career. I think whatever you have done has perhaps even affected your reputation. And maybe what you had been doing was affecting your reputation, and that is part of the reason why you were able to pay attention to it and swiftly nip it in the bud, so to speak. So I don't think you did this by shaming or blaming anyone or yourself. I think that you did this in the way that a true healer does, which is through acceptance. And you took the experience for what it was, which is it offered you a perspective. And sometimes we know what we do want by knowing what we don't want. And so I don't think you beat yourself up or you feel that you were wrong to have experienced what you did. I think you just used the experience to help guide yourself towards what you prefer. And that's so beautiful. So I think that you're being recognized for that nice level of maturity and taking charge and taking responsibility and learning and being in the growth mindset and not doing it from a standpoint of, self-hate. It's really beautiful. So remember, this is just information to reflect on. And it's meant to be helpful, so just take what's helpful for you. I'm going to end your reading there, and thank you for spending your time with me.